Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of It's All Related, where we talk everything about intuitive living in the day-to-day. Hi, I'm Sonia, substituting for our mom and host, Sonia Choquette, and I am joined today by my beautiful, gorgeous sister, Sabrina, in London. Hi, Sabrina.
Hello. I'm so grateful to be back. Last week, I had a terrible virus that knocked me out. And then this week, poor mom has the virus, so she's pretty knocked out, but I'm better.
I'm just absolutely delighted. My little spirit is saying, I'm so excited. My CC's out of hiding from her cold that she wasn't feeling that good.
No, I was so last week on Thursday. Also, it coincided with Easter break, which means older, sweet Sufi girl was home from school. And then the little one, and also our nanny, who is a incredible, beautiful gift from the universe
Mary
to have
Poppins.
Somebody who helps me. I thank my lucky stars every day as a working mom. It's just, I know there are many working moms listening to this podcast. It's like the world goes around when she's with us, and when she's not with us, I'm like, oh my God, this is so, it's just, I was telling mom, the thing about that is so hard is that when it's me, I have to do all the thinking for everyone. It's not just the doing, it's all the thinking. And Shauna, our wonderful help and nanny and family member, she's basically family at this point. She just does a lot of thinking for me. So I realized when she's gone when she came back in, I gave her a big hug and I said, I am so happy to see you. I am so grateful because her going off at the same time Sufi was off and then getting a cold on top of it, it just really drove home how grateful I am to the universe. She really came to us by the universe orchestrating her into our lives, because she really wasn't even a nanny before she started with us. She was she worked in a restaurant, and then in COVID she lost her job and she was looking for work, and she was friends with a friend of ours. So it was just like divine orchestration.
Divine appointment.
Yeah, divine orchestration. But I tell her all the time, I'm like, Shauna, when you are a very old woman, I'm going to take care of you. Like, I am going to be there for you in your old age. You will always be our family because you've helped me so much with these sweet babies and allowed me to work and get back to work, which I'm grateful for.
Totally. I mean, she's absolutely not only a gift, and the bits that I have interacted with Shauna, but how she cares for those girls. And I was just talking to one of my good girlfriends here who has I believe Net's like he's 8 months old. And a little one. And she was talking to me about needing to get the right support. And so from her doula, she got a recommendation for this, a nanny who came in and did a little bit of a stage. And they travel a lot.
What's a stage?
Like basically they like a trial, was there for a while.
Oh, a stage. I've never heard that before.
I guess it's like a chef's term.
Stage.
She had to perform on a stage, a special number.
Oh, a stage. Stage is stage. We brought her in for a stage. Okay, so she was doing a trial. She was trialing somebody.
Yeah. But so on paper, everything was...
But the vibes were off?
Right there. The vibe was off. And I remember I saw her... She traveled. She went and spent some time with her mom, her family for a few months. And right before I left, we went for the baby and her went for a walk. And she was trying to kind of suss out whether it was a good fit. She's like, she's really good on, she's really good with the baby and on paper and all of it, but I'm not totally sure. I fast forward, just got back in town, thrilled to see them, go for a walk. And she was just telling me, she was like, it was just not the vibe. She would go around my house and then she would complain to me about different things or X, Y, or Z until finally she had a come to Jesus moment of this isn't a good fit. And it's like a vibrational match.
Yeah,
I'm sure she's wonderful.
Totally. It's like having anyone, whether it's a coworker or somebody who helps you in your home or even just family members. It's like the vibration of not to make anybody wrong, but it's like
No.
sometimes you really are like oil and water with somebody where it's like no matter what, you can't find a groove, you can't find cohesion together. And I think that's where, for me, over the years, when I used to sort of come up against that anywhere in the outside world, or whether internally or externally, like what I would come up against feeling out of sync with somebody, there's a lot of times you can just make yourself really wrong for that. Like this sounds like this. And it's interesting. I feel like children has actually really drove this home for me because the stakes are really high with your kids because they're so little. So I've in the past really struggled to be direct with people when something's not working. Like in my own life, I can tend to be avoidant of conflict. Now, I'm not that way with you and mom and like Ahmed. And,
I'm like, who is this?
I'm not conflict avoidant with my people, my inner people that I feel really safe. But I can be conflict avoidant with somebody that I don't really know very well or that I don't feel particularly safe with just because I don't know them. I can tend to be kind of conflict avoidant. So what makes me laugh is it's like with Sufi, I remember we hired when it was time to go back to work. She was about 6 months old and I was like, okay, I've got to get back to sessions. I've got to get back to clients. Everybody was sort of like knock, knock on the door. Like, when are you coming back? And I was like, and they were all really respectful and really wonderful. But, it was like they were ready for me to come back. And I was also ready to kind of start working again. And we hired the first woman that helped us, who was, for lack of a better way to say this, just a little bit crazy. And I remember she started with us and it was just part-time work, just part-time helping me with her just for a few hours in the afternoon so that I could work on the phone. But I was in the house.
Right.
Sufi was in the house and this woman was in the house. So I was, basically with the door closed between us because the house wasn't that big. But I remember one day I came out and they were sitting in the living room and she said to me, I need to take off her onesie, oil her up and put her in the sun.
What?
And I was like, excuse me?
What?
I was like, what? She goes, if she needs vitamin D. I said, excuse me? I don't think that's how we're going to go about getting this child vitamin D. First of all, she has vitamin D in a supplement, but it was just like, I remember in that moment, old me might have just been like quiet or laughed it off, but I was like, absolutely not. You will not put this child in the sun and oil her up and put her in the sun. That will not be how we're going about this. And I found like my voice with her where I just was like, nope, don't do that. That's a no. You won't be doing that. And I was surprised by the ease at which how easy it was for me to tell this woman no. Like that's great. That's a little bit crazy. Where for me, that's probably been one of the most profound changes for me with kids is I just don't hold back when it comes to them.
Yeah.
And it's actually taught me to be even more vocal when something feels off, like if I sort of use this with my clients sometimes, but in the UK, they have this slogan on public transportation that see something, say something.
See it, say it, sort it. I love that saying. I love it.
See it, say it, sort it. And I feel like I've really adopted that in my life now after post-kids, post-pandemic. It's like if something feels off, if the energy doesn't feel right, if somebody wants to oil up my baby and put her in the sun, I'm just going to say, that's a bad idea. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. And not be so concerned about preserving people's feelings. I think as empaths, genuinely sensitive people, sometimes we are conflict avoidant because it's like we can feel other people and we don't want to necessarily make somebody uncomfortable. I've realized in my age that I have secondhand embarrassment. Like if somebody else is embarrassed, I feel embarrassed that they're embarrassed.
Yeah. Well, I mean, also empathy.
Yeah, empathy. I think it is. When we were little, they would have those shows like American Idol.
Or America's Funniest Home Videos. Remember that one where a lot of them were people who were like falling and hurting themselves? Oh, it would just hurt my heart.
I never watch them.
Me neither.
Truly, I just never could watch someone else go through something challenging, difficult, humiliating. But now just in connecting the dots, I'm like, oh, right, that's just tuned in, you know?
Well, I mean, just being aware of another person, two things that this makes me think of, because obviously I'm not a parent, so I don't understand that transformation, but I do understand. And I find even it's like from our spirit, from our higher selves, like how much easier it is to be loving and advocate for others. Or even sometimes what I see with my clients who are really intuitive is that they can really tune in to the people that they love and they care about, but don't honor their spirit in the same way. Like for you, you're like, absolutely not. You are not oiling up my baby.
You're not going to oil her up and put her on the side.
No. This is not a piece of bacon. This is my brand new baby. She does not need a tan. She does not need a tan.
Also, she really doesn't need a tan. No. Like she's really good. Like she's on vitamin D. Like we've got that covered. We have thought of that. You know what I mean?
We good. And also I'm the authority, but I see this often. I also just love the British phrase, see it, say it, sort it, because I think of it as like the intellect, our little ego intellects function in service to intuition. It's like, see it. I take in the facts, just the grounded facts. The vibe is off. I can see these different things that just has that intuitive prompting. It's like, say it. That's off. Sort it. Let's do something. Action.
Totally. I think it's very, I say all the time, I've sort of distilled it in my brain to see something, say something. Like in my own being, like my shortcut is see something, say something. I don't necessarily do see it, say it, sort it.
I just love the British. I just love it. I just love it so much.
They love it too. They say it all the time. You get on that tube, they're telling you all the time.
So polite.
So polite. But it's just like, I think a lot of us can relate to authority, like moving into a time where we feel empowered. And because we are picking up on stuff all the time.
Totally.
Like we are tuning in, seeing, perceiving, and more just in my life. And maybe this also is like, yes, it's motherhood, but also age is like, I'm far less concerned about just generally keeping people comfortable in the sense that it's like, I value that not less, but in a different way to being really honest and authentic.
Yeah. Well, I think the gift of getting older is also I give less of a beep. I just care less about.
I like how you censored yourself with that beep.
I know. I did censor myself with my own beep.
Yeah, so I liked it. Yeah, no, it's true. It's like you're less invested in that way.
Yes, absolutely. And that's such a beautiful freedom. Like I love just seeing people like who are, older folks who just do not care. They're just enjoying themselves. Here in New Orleans, there's a whole culture of what's called there's something called the neutral ground. And we have boulevards that have, it's like two lanes going north, basically 2 lanes going south. And then there's a big expanse of the middle ground, which is just grass. And there are all of these older people who just bring out their lawn chairs, truly, their checkerboard, their thing, and they just hang. They just hang out. And it's exactly what they want. I love it. I'm like, we are here just present watching the cars go by and I am delighted. I am delighted.
I know it's a funny thing. I would probably not pick that place because I'm so sensitive, sensory sensitive. Like for me sitting in the cars, I'd be like, just the sound of cars
Oh.
But I do love.
I see immediately because in London, traffic runs the opposite way, and they are not American drivers. If you are not in a crosswalk, they're not stop. So every time walking with Sabrina, she's got like almost like the crossing guard arm. So that's what I'm thinking of. You just, even if I am looking too,
with you,
it's like the mom crossing guard arm where you're just boom, excuse me.
Well, you are also very much my older sister leader. So when we go on a walk, even if it's my neighborhood that I've lived in for a decade, you're in front of me, you're going. And sometimes I'm like, hey, we're going this way. And you're like, okay. Like you're always just the leader of whatever walk we're on. So sometimes I got to bring that arm out to just make sure that you're not going to put yourself in peril. I'm just like, let's pay attention to the traffic moving in the opposite direction and slow down just a little bit.
Well, one thing it reminds me of is, like we're both as just very intuitive people. But for me, I'm not always just like in my spirit on planet Earth, while Sabrina very much is. And our intuition can work best in things that we care about or important. And for me, like navigation directions, I'm like, whatever, which has gotten me lost in a paper bag. I mean, it's I've had people know and say, but Sabrina, for example,
you don't have a great sense of direction on planet Earth.
No,
you do. No. You have great sense on the astral plane.
100%.
But on the psychic planes, you're doing great. But when it comes to how do we get back to that place we were before?
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Okay. Real quick. The other week, my bestie in Ohio was playing a sunset DJ gig at this place called Common House. It's like a little members only club. Okay. There's one way you go to the bathroom. Every time I would go into the bathroom, I would go out the wrong door and wind up in the dining room, lost and confused.
No.
And I mean, this is like, it's 5 p.m. I don't know why. Every single time I'm like, wait a minute.
Maybe it was a vortex.
I'm going to say it was. It was a vortex. It wasn't me. I sometimes
do step into certain places where I'm like, we're not on planet Earth anymore. We're in some crossroads in the universal plane, because I don't know. Are we here? Or are we there? It sounds like you were going in one door, coming out somewhere completely else that you were not expecting to be.
Where the hell am I? But Sabrina, on the other hand, and especially when it comes to beauty, art, there's something. So in Morocco, they have souks. They are markets, and they are insanely complicated. There is no rhyme or reason.
There's no roads, really.
There's nothing.
There's no grid system in a souk. It's all winding coming into another, coming out into another road, and then there's a square, and then you're back on the roads, and then back on the back streets. Yeah.
Packed with vendors, and they have usually have a cover in certain areas as well, so you can't even navigate by the sun. When you are in the souk, you're deep. You often, the best rule of thumb is to have a guide, not because of danger, but because you will get lost. Sabrina, every time. Every time.
Get lost.
Her intuition. I remember being when we were in Marrakesh, and I think I wanted to get some wooden spoons or something. And you were you didn't even know where we were going, but you were just like, follow me, and just, and you led us directly to the cute little wooden spoon man.
The wooden man.
Yeah. In 30 seconds. And I
know exactly where he is. Yeah. I could astral project us there right now. I know how to get back to that wooden man, because he sells great wooden wares. I mean, beautiful bowls, beautiful spoons. I'm not going to forget where he is. Even better. I know exactly where that man is.
And even better, because Sabrina's intuition, especially when it comes to just things that are like, you just are so good at breathing beauty into
earthy stuff.
Anything.
But like earthy stuff. For me, I think, it's funny about the souks, because I have dyslexia. But one of the grand benefits of being a dyslexic person is I have a photographic memory for things. So my brain and intuition kind of work a bit. They work like brother, sister, like hand in hand. I'm able to know how to navigate a place and a space. I remember it. If I see it once, if I see it on a map, I can kind of I can sort of project wherever we are, like almost like Pac-Man.
Yeah.
Like I can see it from above. Like I could be like, we're here on the planet right now, and like zoom in, zoom out. I actually loved when Google Earth came out because I was like, oh, this is kind of how I see things, like 3D. I like this 3D zoom in, zoom out. But what's interesting to me about that is Mom always talked to us about how intuition was connected to imagination.
Yeah.
And that our imagination really is the portal to our intuition. And that we were always encouraged as kids to value our intuition as our first sense, but it also was connected to our magic and our intuition, and keeping that really alive in both of us, whether it's you and your art and your artistry and your creativity and your creation. Me, it's sort of more, I would say my imagination is really like creating spaces, creating homes, creating meals, I'm very much like to make life beautiful, like day-to-day life.
You elevated all of us. I remember when you got your first pair of Marc Jacobs shoes and you just elevated the whole game for the whole family.
Well, I did. They were Marc by Marc Jacobs shoes.
Okay. Sorry,
so they weren't.
Excuse me.
I mean, Marc Jacobs shoes are extremely expensive. But what I did do when we were in 8th grade is I got for my 8th grade graduation I got some cash. I had cash money in hand from 8th grade graduation, but I also had been working as babysitter. So I had saved up, let's say, the equivalent of $250, which at the time was quite a bit of money.
Yeah.
And I went to Barney's in Chicago, which is no longer there, RIP, which was wonderful. And I bought myself a pair of yellow Marc by Marc Jacobs flats. They were very cool. They were suede and leather. They were just beautiful. Do we still have them?
Hello, my sweet friends. It's Sonia Tully. And here's one thing I know for sure. Your head and your heart are meant to be the best of friends. And when you live life inside out, your head and heart are one. Being an intuitive, connected soul is all about remembering who you are and uncovering your gems. It is my mission to help you trust your intuition so that you can plug back in and reconnect to your authentic self. If you're ready to move into ownership of your intuitive gifts and get out of your own way, my intuitive mentoring programs are healing, fun, and expansive. Get clear on your real goals. Stop people pleasing. Gain confidence in your intuition, quiet your anxiety, and reconnect to your creativity and power. I know life is messy. It's messy for me, but in the mess is where we find the magic, and where we're meant to dive in and find our treasures. Being spiritually connected and divinely guided is the best way to deeply love ourselves and move in the world with confidence and ease. There is nothing I love more than helping people live spontaneously and awaken their inner guide. I can't wait to help you come home. Visit my website, soniatully.com, to learn more. And while you're there, download my free guided meditation and workbook so you can harness the power of your intuition and learn about the ways I can work with you so that you'll dance through life with clarity and confidence. Yeah, absolutely. We have them. Absolutely. We definitely do. We would not get rid of those. I feel like that's like a
alchemy piece.
Yeah. That's absolutely an alchemy piece. And if I think about those shoes, I'm like, that's for me, I'm like, oh, that's so Sabrina's signature of her spirit. And I feel like almost just an evolution of your gifts that you've always had. But like the first time it like was switched to like more grown up, because you were in 8th grade. It's like all of a sudden, because it is truly, I mean, the beautiful thing too is like when you have intuitive people in your life, maybe they recognize it or not. Like anytime I have to get clothes, find something, find a place, get a car, and anything in that arena, anything that is beautiful, I ask Sabrina. And all of a sudden, I've been looking for hours. She is, here's the list, here's the list, here's the list, here's the link, here's the this, here's the that. I remember from a long time ago, Sabrina and I, we went to Coachella. And this was like early internet.
It was a long time ago.
It was a long time ago.
It was like,
time ago.
What, 2012?
13, something. It doesn't matter.
Something
2012,
like that.
Yeah. But this was right when, it wasn't even Instagram. There used to be a magazine called, or it still was around, Vice, but they used to have a physical magazine. And they had a photo of this girl who had this like super cute, it was this one piece lace kind of see-through with a jumper underneath with this belt. And I really wanted it. And so I think she had posted it herself.
The other thing she had said was it was vintage.
I commented and I said, hey, I love this. Where did you get it? And she said, yep, it's vintage, one of a kind, impossible. And I remember sitting with you in bed and I was like, dang. And I was just showing you something I like. And your intuition immediately, you were like, no, I'm going to find it. This is like pre the search engines that we have today.
Yeah, yes, for sure. This was 15 years ago. 10 years, at least 10 to 15 years ago this happened.
No Google image, no Instagram hashtags, and I have no idea how you found that needle in the haystack. But it was like by end of day, the next day, you had found the manufacturer. You had found multiple different sites, multiple different colors. You found me multiple cuter matching belts and had the whole fit designed in, it felt like bibbidi bobbidi boo.
You know what it is? I think too, Mom was always like, there's always a solution.
Exactly.
And
That's what I was
really
going to come to.
Feel that is, for me, if something inspires me, like you were inspired by that outfit. You saw it, you wanted it. You were living your life out in that outfit.
I still have one that I don't wear somewhere in like my bins of clothes because I just can't bring myself to get rid of it, even though it's like out of fashion. I'm like,
it's
don't
no
put
longer
it on.
you, but I do think that if you're inspired by something, anything, if you're moved, if you're inspired, there's a reason. And it was like you saw that outfit and you connected with it, but you connected with a part of yourself through that outfit. And I really wanted you to have it. I really wanted you to be that version of you that you were inspired by when you saw that picture. And I was like,
my sister.
Just because she said that it was vintage, I was like, that doesn't feel right. That's not.
Vibe is off. Chicken's off.
The chicken's off. The vibe is off. I am going to find that outfit for you. And I am going to make that dream come true. But it is that sort of, Mom was talking about this on her certification this week, 19 Solutions, or maybe it was last week. And this idea that there's always a solution.
Absolutely.
If you're inspired, if you're moved, if you want to create, you can. And that whatever really lights you up and gets your heart moving in the right direction, I'm always like, there's a reason for it. And so my expectation is always, the universe is going to conspire for us to succeed with this. Like, we are going to find that outfit.
I love it.
We are going to make that dream happen.
Absolutely. And it's one of the ways that for me, a marker of an intuitive person, whether they have the same language or framework of like when they come up against an issue or a problem or a no, how they respond.
Yeah.
I remember it was just recently it was with Lane. Although he's very intuitive, but even with Lane, he had to get a suit made, a suit for a wedding. And all right, he went to the tailor to get it mended. Of course, he didn't look at the dates of when they were open. And here they were open like very sporadically. It was like Tuesday, Thursday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday through Sunday, they're closed or something like that. Anyway, so he has to fly to Oregon, to this small town. And we show up like, Thursday morning, the day we're supposed to leave. Completely closed, windows. It is dark. And he's like, oh no, I'm screwed. Cause he was also a groomsman. And
and they have the suit.
They have the suit. This isn't just we're going to switch it out. Tom P. This is,
You're
we need
part of a
suit.
crew. You all need to match.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. So we get back in the car and he's like, oh no, what am I gonna say to Jimmy and Chloe? Like all these things. And the first things that come into my mind of like, he was like, Tom P, that's it. First thing that comes into my mind is solution. I'm like, well, we can call it, we can get it, we can FedEx. Maybe we can do this. Maybe I can do this. And then all of a sudden
immediately you're like into 19 solutions, cube of space. We're going to solve this. We're not just going to roll over in the road here.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Guides, angels, help. I need help. There is a solution. And as I'm listing all these different solutions, he's on FedEx, recognizing that even if I did get it overnight, it wasn't going to make it. And then all of a sudden I just got the hit of, hey, why don't I go knock on the door? Why don't I and he's like, there's nobody there. I'm like, I'm going to go knock on the door.
Just knock on the door. Why not?
Why not? Why not?
There you go.
Knock on the door. Nothing. I'm like, one more time. And then boom, out she pops. She's got the suit. She's been working in the back in the dark. And I'm like, that's intuition at work.
That's intuition.
That's 19 solutions at work. Because once you start even just imagining, you might have some maybe it's a good idea, but then all of a sudden you can get inspired. It's like, oh, that's guidance.
That is so, it's really a point of view of life. Like whenever I come up against any moment in my life that's challenging or difficult or stressful, our training, literal spiritual training from Mom is like, what is happening right now is not to torture you. It's not for you to be sad or disappointed. It's to allow you to grow and evolve, whatever it is. And we were really trained to see the world through that lens. And so for me, I love that story because it's like your imagination immediately went to, of course, there's a solution. Of course, we're going to solve this. This isn't going to be without, and there's actually many ways we can solve this. Not only is there one way, there's many ways. Mom and I often talk about the thing that keeps most people stuck and most people sad is a lack of imagination.
True. Amen.
That can be the thing that for me, if I were to not have my imagination, I truly feel like life would be so bleak.
Oh, no imagination? I'm like, there's no color, there's no flavor, there's no texture, there's no breath, there's no spirit.
But I think what's really sad is for a lot of people, they were really taught and trained and encouraged not to use it.
Yeah.
Not to preserve it, not to protect it, not to cherish it as a gift from the universe, that we have this imagination, not to use it, not to honor it as the sacred gift that is connected to your intuition. So for me, your imagination in that moment when the door was closed and, oh, tant pis pour toi, it's over, you instead went to, well, not only is there a solution, there's a lot of solutions, and I'm going to find it. I'm going to find the solution.
Totally.
And you were using your imagination to imagine all the ways in which you could solve it, which to me is also where my guides and my angels work with me, is through my imagination portal.
Absolutely.
It's funny for me. Like, I had this dream that I had a pinky ring recently. I had a dream. I had a pinky ring on.
What was the pinky ring like? What color was it?
It was a pinky ring with an emerald in it. Kind of a deep green emerald pinky ring.
Oh my God, I'm like giving mobster chic
I know
vibes.
it was a really unusual dream, and it was an unusual ring. Like, I thought, I woke up and thought, it's funny. That's not, I wouldn't normally go to pinky ring, but okay. And then I was out and about, and I went into this bookstore in Marylebone. That's this cool bookstore that you always like to go to.
I love that bookstore.
Daunt's bookstore. It's just it's an old bookstore with so many beautiful books and so many different, it's like full of really eclectic books. You can find lots of different kinds of books, different from all over the world, different topics. Like, and I walked in, and on the front of this book was all of the jewelry from the royal family's imperial jewelry photo book, where it was like all the photos of all this thing. And on the front cover, there was a picture of a hand, and on the hand, there was an emerald pinky ring. And I was like, oh, there you go. That's like, I felt like a chill go through my body. And I was like, that was my pinky ring. I knew. It was like this very funny moment. I actually laughed out loud in the bookstore. I was like, that is so funny. What a symbol. But again, it was like through the portal of my imagination, this dropped in. You know what I mean? Like I saw it in my dream, then I saw it on the book, and I connected the dots, and it was just like, oh, right. That was one of my past lives, walking around in emerald pinky rings. You know, it was so bizarre, but kind of fun. And I just feel like when you live life like this, life becomes really magical and really fun. And
yeah, I mean, it is. And it's the way that we're naturally designed to live. And I find that too, our creativity gets shut down for a lot of different ways. I've shared a lot about for myself of how French school really got me in my head to comparing to other people. But I find that a lot of people feel that they aren't creative, but it's because we're looking at it through such a narrow lens of like fine art, as opposed to, can you be creative when you come up against an issue, maybe what you're with a friend, or, you know, and it's like, where does your creativity, or just like problem solving, or let's figure it out, where does that really get ignited in your life? Yeah. It can also be a good window to where your intuition works really well.
Yeah, I think that's just having the overall creative spirit.
Yeah.
You know, having a creative spirit in life.
We come in with a creative spirit. Everyone is
so creative. Children are so creative. Like, honestly, my children blow me away with their creativity, like every day. And how it takes on so many different shapes. Like you were saying, we don't need to look at creativity through this really narrow lens. For me, I'm really creative in the way I make dinner, in the way I build my home, in the way I parent, in the way I do my sessions. It's like my creativity. I might not be sitting around and doing, you know, art projects at this time in my life. Maybe I will later when I have a bit more time.
You are an artist.
Maybe when I have more time, that would be something that I have. But I guess what I'm trying to say is that artistry and that intuition and that connection can be in everyday life. It doesn't have to be. It makes me laugh. I remember Mom's mom, our Nana, who this is really the original gangster. The OG Sonia. She was so creative in every single. I remember she said to me, I went to Denver to see her, and she said, I need to go to the grocery store and I need to buy 4 white roses.
Okay.
And I was like, okay. Yeah. Didn't really know why. Didn't really ask her what they were for. And we bought the 4 white roses. She picked up the 4 she wanted. I paid, of course. She was always good at that. Take you, you'll pay. So I paid, we left, and we went back to her house, and she had like created this, all I can describe it as is like, it was almost an art installation to Jesus and Mother Mary.
Oh my gosh.
And within that, there was 4 places for these flowers, and they had 4 little vases, and it was just like, she had this whole little world that in her bedroom, on her dresser, where her picture of Jesus and Mary were, because she loved them so much.
So much.
And especially Jesus.
Yeah.
And I just was like, her lifeblood was this creative project. Like, she was like, I gotta finish it. I gotta see this through. And it was only for her. Right. This wasn't for consumption.
Nope.
This was her artistry. She created this altar that was so beautiful. And then she had these 4 places for these 4 roses, and it was her vision. It was her creativity. And I was just like, I want to be like that my entire life. I want to constantly be creating beauty for beauty's sake, and and using this portal.
And what I love, like just as a modeling and of that is, and what you were just saying about it is not doing it for approval. Just recently, Lane, my partner Lane did this project in 3D. And we had some friends over and I really was encouraging him to show the video. Okay. I have another friend who is in design. Okay. So he shows this, I forced him on, so you have to show everybody because that's Brad. Shows minute clip and it ends. My friend who's a designer immediately starts giving critique. And and it wasn't ill-intentioned.
Ooh.
But people are like, oh, Sonia, you're so nice. It was very funny. Because all of a sudden I was like, girl, nope, that's not how we do it.
Lock it up.
We are not asking for that. We are not asking for that. We had a powwow, a conversation. She apologized, felt bad. She was like, oh, I just didn't want to say that I loved it when I did. I'm like, that's okay. You can be honest. But first time you show.
She's sounding a little bit for enough.
You support. Okay. Fast forward. Later that evening, I'm digesting with Lane. And he's like, I don't care what anyone else thinks because I like it. Like I'm not where I would find, from myself, I would be like, oh, that's really hurt. Water off a duck's back.
Didn't hit him the way it would hit you.
No, but
because he had a very different experience.
Because he was really confident in what it is that he is creating. Well,
it's like when Mom wrote her first book and someone asked her if English was her first language.
No, spirit is. Sorry.
Yeah, that's what her answer was. No, spirit is. Language. So what they said, is English your first language? And she said, no, spirit is my first language.
I mean, I love it.
Like, that's so Mom. So quick.
Yeah.
So mommy. So quick.
So quick.
But so true. Like, spirit is her first language. That is Mom's first language. But I just feel like, it's brave to share. It's so brave to live a life where you're sharing your art with the world and you're creating and you're putting yourself out there. And obviously Lane is a professional artist.
He's a professional artist.
He makes art and
through and through from as a baby.
Right. So then that he's built his confidence and his sense of knowing who he is. So he's not looking for approval, and that's all super beautiful. But I feel like also it's just this idea of like, we don't need to tear other people down. No. We can celebrate. I will never be the person to tell you your art was bad.
No, I'm
just not that. I'm just, even if it is, I'm going to celebrate that you created it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, there's a funny video. I can't remember which actress it is, but she's talking about that she had her baby and the nurse came in and said, you have a beautiful baby. And she said, you tell everybody they had a beautiful baby. And she said, no, when I see a baby that's not beautiful, I say, wow, that's a baby. And I really love that because I was like, that's right. You can celebrate this beautiful whether it's aesthetically pleasing to you or not is besides the point, because we don't get to say what's a beautiful baby or what's but that's a baby.
Oh, that just, I love that. Reminds me of a TikTok video that I just watched. It was you're seeing your friends like band on stage, they're off their awful band afterwards. It's like, you guys were just really put it out there. And this was, wow.
Wonderful to see you giving it your all.
Woohoo. Woohoo. You doing it.
I will always be that person. Right. I will find and look for the good and celebrate what was working and celebrate. Unless someone is
inviting you specifically
for me.
We are asking for feedback.
To come in with feedback. That will not be where I automatically go. No.
No, me neither. I was recently here invited to be a panel. There is a show, improv comedy stand-up show. I do improv and he asked me to be on the panel for these comics. So basically comics have 1 minute. They have to pull a prompt and then do their minute of stand-up to that prompt. So if somebody might say being in an elevator, so they have to do their minute bit like they're trapped in an elevator. Okay, whatever. I'm the panel. I sign up. As I get closer to the date, I message him and I was like, Chris, I hope you know that like as a panelist,
Yes.
what the expectations are, because I am not going to be critical. Like I'm going to just like probably be supportive. And he was like, no,
you're
no,
the
no,
Paula
it's good.
Abdul.
Oh yeah. Absolutely. We love Paula. We love Paula. But circling all the way back, the other thing that it's just even from Nana to artists, to ourselves, to when you're a baby, you create what you like. You don't care about what other people think. You create it because you like it. You're interested, you're invested, as opposed to for approval. And that's such a beautiful thread to follow.
Yeah, Sufi is a good example for me of that, because she will sit down and work diligently on creating her pictures. Oh my God, she has a crush on one of the little boys in her class, which is so cute.
Stop.
So cute. And the other day I found this little package in her backpack, and it was a homemade envelope of sorts, taped up all together. And I didn't know what was in it. So I opened it, and inside it was a picture that she had drawn of the two of them. And she's learned how to write her name and his name.
What? You need to send this to me immediately. We are not putting her crush on blast, but I am so curious.
We won't be naming names.
No. But how
it's
sweet.
And it's just, it's all baby, so innocent 5-year-old love. You know, it's so cute. And she tells me about it. He's so not. And I always say, well, what do you like about him? She goes, he's just kind. He's so kind. He's such quality. A kind boy.
I love that.
And the other thing is, she says, when we play, he'll be the dad, and no one wants to be the dad. Like nobody ever wants to be the dad. So I'm grateful he'll be the dad, because we don't ever, because it's all girls. It's there's like 6 little girls in the class that play together, and then this little boy.
Well, we need the dad.
And he'll be the dad. He'll do that part. He'll play
I wish I could mic them up.
It's so precious. It's so amazing. It's so pure. They're all just so pure, so sweet. He actually, I was there today for family share, and our family share was about fairies.
Oh, what do you mean family share? Like,
so at Sophie's school, they invite us in. Every family gets an opportunity to come in and share a family tradition.
Oh.
And so I spoke with Sophie and I said, what do you want our tradition to be? And every year, Sophie and I build a fairy garden for her, that she waters the plants and she nurtures her plants, and she has a little fairy garden with a little house.
To the nature spirits,
nature spirits, and she really loves it. And she goes out every day, she waters, she cleans it up, she brings in twigs and leaves, and totally, it's her living altar that she has every year in our garden. And so she told me that she wanted our family share to be her fairy garden. So we went in today, and I actually bought 17 little tiny fairy houses for them.
I love you. I love you so much.
Their individual little fairy houses.
I love you so much.
And we talked to them about fairies and about creating a little, beautiful garden, and that it's like a special little quiet corner where you can go, and it was really sweet.
I love it. It's like a intuitive teach, like you're like be like teach like our family intuition, like in the fairy garden, of just like sharing that with the class,
the magic and the beauty and creating something beautiful, and they were so cute and so earnest, and all of them they're painting diligently away their little thing. They're all 4 and 5 years old, so they are so cute. But the little boy came right up to me. He said, "Do you know who I am?" I said, "Yes, of course." He said, "Do you know I'm coming to your house?" I said, "Yes, you're coming to my house on Saturday for a play date."
Wow.
He was like,
do you know who I am?
I'm so great. But I love it. Do you know who I am?
Do you know who I am?
Do you know me?
Do you know me?
I'm like, yes, I know you. I've seen you 20 million times. We've spoken many times.
Because he's like, I know you. Like, you're Sufi's mommy. Like,
you're Sufi's mommy.
Yeah. Like,
do you know me?
Do you know me?
It's just the sweetness and the earnestness. And
just it's such a reminder of what we come in with.
Our tool of the week is that everybody should make a little fairy garden.
Oh, I love that. Especially with springtime. I mean, we're recording this right now. It is new moon in Aries, we are at the astrological new year. We are in spring. And what a beautiful way to connect with your inner child, your creativity. And you can even just be some rocks. It doesn't have to be a physical garden.
100%.
Some little
beautiful outdoor space. And whether you're in this hemisphere or the other one that's going into winter, we can always create a beautiful, just like Nana in her altar or Sufi in her fairy garden, like creating some beautiful space where, for me, the fairy garden is a beautiful space that's there to celebrate the spirits that dwell there, and the fairy energies that dwell there, the magic, the joy energies. And so we really take our fairy garden quite seriously in this house.
I mean, I take it very seriously.
So I would invite you all to just create, whether it be a little altar, an outdoor fairy garden, just a place that speaks to your inner child and sparks your imagination, and you can create a little bit of magic in your life, a little magical corner in your life.
I'm going to do that in my own garden. I'm going to do our own homework this week. I
think you need to do a fairy garden. I really think it's magic.
I'm into it. I am into it. Well, with that, Sabrina, do you have anything coming up?
I don't. I think the biggest thing is that we're just finishing up our incredible certification.
I know, it's been such a gift.
This summer, I'm going to have a few openings for mentoring. You can go to sabrinatelli.com and reach out to me through my website if you are interested. But that's pretty much it. Do you have anything on the docket?
I mean, I have some different things down the pike, but at the moment, we're still in our building phase. So for me, again, I too have one or two mentoring spots. Sabrina and I are so different in our approaches. I feel like, what do you feel like you are just really excel at? I mean, I could give you language and say a million different things.
I could also for you. I could also do that for you. I mean, I would say my passion is for helping people who want to really launch intuitive practices or bring intuition into their work. I'm really good at it and I love it. Most of my clients for the last 20 years, many of them, and the ones that I love working with all of them, and they've all been different walks of life. But I really do love helping people build intuitive practices, whether it be coaches or therapists or people who want to do intuitive work in the world. I just love doing that, mentoring and kind of developing that.
You're fabulous. You're my favorite person. I remember one time even Lane, we were in France in Mom's kitchen, and Lane was presenting you with some sort of issue that he was dealing with in work or blah, blah, blah. And just the way that you navigated and coached and everything, I was like, that's my sister. And I was also like, that was like your higher self, you know? It was like Sabrina, but not Sabrina.
Or it was like, Lane, we need to talk about this. I literally like broke it down. I just remember him looking at me like, I don't know if I'm tracking. And I was like, it's quite late. We should go to bed.
I was just, truly having Sabrina. I mean, it's true. It's really, really, really true.
I would say the same for you, Sonia. Yeah. We are been both trained so well by our beautiful mom, and your capacity to really inspire and create joy and bring in this creativity energy that we've been talking about. I think you are that, plus your tremendous depth of soul and your generosity of spirit with your clients. I'm like, you are so gifted as well. I'm so grateful that I get to call you when I'm having a meltdown.
I know. Thanks. That's how I feel. I know. Whether it's a fashion emergency or a real emergency.
I mean, if you need me to track down a jumpsuit that you haven't found.
Anything. With that psychic knows.
That's
we can expand that base, girl.
So you can find both of us through our website, soniatelli.com or sabrinatelli.com. You can find us both.
And you can find us in the show notes. Okay. Usually we have time for question of the week, but unfortunately, we have a little nuggets. We yip yappy. We're on a total sister vibe. But if you'd like to write us your questions, you can write us at itsallrelatedpodcastquestions@gmail.com. And if you enjoyed this podcast, help us out. Rate us, subscribe, leave us a review. It helps us more than you know. And Sabrina, I love you. It's always such a treat.
I love all of you.
I love all of you. Forever and ever. My heart with a pinky ring. All right.
I do with a pinky ring. I love you all. Love and hugs.
So, all my love. God, bye.